Welcome to another episode of Millennial Investing Explained. Here's today's question. What is a popular myth or misconception about options trading that you'd like to debunk? And why do you think it exists? What is the actual truth?
I have to continuously struggle and break people down to some degree to reframe how they think about trading. And it's mostly because people get into options trading assuming that it's a quick win, a quick buck. And it's just not. It couldn't be further from the truth. Now, could you make money quickly with option contracts? Yes, but that's all gambling. So you could make money quickly going into casinos. So I think the biggest myth is this idea that you can make money quickly. I would say the second one behind that is that if it works, then why doesn't everyone do it? And why is this edge still persistent? And that I think is actually a really interesting question, and a question I'm so glad that a lot of people ask, because a lot of people will go through our free training and courses and they'll say, Kirk, all this stuff makes sense. I see that there's an edge in selling options, but why on earth is this still here, right? If there's an edge, the market should be able to, close that edge. If there's an arbitrage opportunity, the market should be able to squash that and capture that. Option contracts do something that is impossible to do at this point, right? They factor in the future. And because they have to guess with where the future is going to be, like how far a stock may or may not move in 6 months, which is still completely unknowable. I mean, I don't know of anything that can predict the future yet, but if something were to come up that could predict the future, it would totally crush options trading for sure. Until that day, because the future is unknowable, an edge in selling premium and volatility will always be there. The sheer fact that there is an unknowable force that could move the market at any moment creates a little bit of panic, like a hurricane. Like, we don't know it's going to hit, but we kind of think it might hit, and they're willing to offset risk in order to protect themselves. And so that creates an opportunity. And so that, I think, is the most beautiful thing about options trading that really a lot of other investing vehicles don't have, is they have this very defined edge that's not going away anytime soon. The catalyst will change. Before it was terrorism attacks and it was the Fed, and future it'll be something else. But that is a huge advantage for traders.
So how would somebody, with the internet, there's obviously so much information out there, and you're saying that options is not a way to get rich quick, which I completely agree with. But then there's also a lot of gurus out there who are trying to sell courses and all this other material saying that options is a great way to get rich quick. How can people know what's really a trustworthy resource, and how do they know what to really look for?
I mean, look, it's mostly smell test stuff. If it smells bad, it probably is bad. There's really no getting around it. So to me, I think most of it's a smell test. I mean, look, at some point, if you get promised 50% returns per week, at that compounding rate, you would own the world in a couple of years, and it's just doesn't make logical sense when you actually take it to its nth degree.
I completely love that example because it's so true. When you look at it on the surface, you get really excited, but when you actually run out the numbers, like you said, you'll own the world in a couple of years, which obviously doesn't make sense. I also like to think about it in the sense of, how is this person making their money? If they're making all of their money from selling courses, you might not want to take options trading advice from them, or stock trading, or whatever it is. You probably want to take advice for somebody that's doing that just because they want to help people, not because that's their main source of income. You probably want to listen to somebody that actually made money trading options or stocks or, whatever it may be, not from those courses.
I do have a different opinion on that. To some degree, that's totally true. I do think there's good people out there who, if they have a course and if they have something to say and they value their time and they want to charge for it, I got no problem with that, right? Do enough digging to understand who you're really working with and what their presence is online.
That's all for this episode of Millennial Investing Explained. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or subscribe to our YouTube channel to get even more free content.